Okay, we're on page 78 in the Chumash. Last time we briefly began Parshas Vayeira, but today we'll be getting much more into it, obviously. Okay, the pasuk says Vayeira Elav Hashem. Hashem appeared to him Beileni Mamre in the plains of Mamre, and we said last time why does he mention Mamre? Because Mamre gave him the advice of how to do the bris, not to be embarrassed of anybody, to do it in.
Still on the bris?
No. That was now we're at God's visiting him.
Now we're at Brit Kippola.
Okay. Now what's interesting is, grammatically, the pasuk should have said Vayeira Hashem Elav. Right? Vayidaber Hashem El Moshe. Vayeira Hashem Elav. Right? That's what it normally should have said. So the Mepharshim explain the whole thing over here. That what's in that? Okay, let's finish the pasuk because there's a lot of things here that are a little bit need explanation. Vayeira Elav Hashem Beileni Mamre. Hashem appeared to Beileni Mamre. He was sitting in the door, in the gate, in the opening of the door with the heat of the day. He picked up his eyes and he saw. Now normally, when Hashem comes to somebody, he tells him something. Right? Why else would Hashem appear to him? Hashem appears to him to tell him a prophecy, a vision, something. Here the pasuk says, Hashem didn't even tell him anything. All it says is Hashem appeared to him. Because of that, Rashi says, from the Gemara, that Hashem came to visit Avraham Avinu on the third day of the bris. Even though by children, the third day is not the most difficult day of the bris, the first 2 days are more difficult, but by adults, the third day of the bris is the more difficult time, and therefore Hashem came to Avram to visit him on the third day of Avraham Avinu's bris. Other people say, why did Hashem come to him on the third day? Because Avraham Avinu was busy circumcising everybody else in his house. And he had a lot of servants, and he had a lot of work to do. So he didn't have a chance to, so to speak, rest from his bris until the third day when Hashem came to him. And that's why, by the way, the pasuk says, Vayeira Elav Hashem. It's not Hashem is appearing to tell him something. Hashem came Elav just for the sake of Avraham Avinu. Normally when Hashem told Moshe something, it wasn't for Moshe. It was for Moshe to give it over to the Jews. But here Hashem didn't come to Avraham Avinu to tell him a prophecy, a vision or something. Hashem came just for him, in other words, to visit the sick. Now, he was sitting, okay, and the opening of the tent. Now, what happened over here, as everybody learns when in school, when they're little kids, when they learn the Parsha story, Hashem didn't want to bother Avraham Avinu to have guests. So he made the sun very, very hot. He took the sun out of its shield, as it's called. He took the sun out of its protective shield, and it made it very, very hot, that it shouldn't have any guests to come.
But it seems Hashem sent him a gift instead of guests.
1 second. So what's the pasuk saying? So he says, Hashem came to him to visit him, and Hashem sees that he's sitting next to the gate looking for guests. Even though it was very hot, he went to look for guests. That was his thing. Avraham Avinu, like we said in Sefer Abohir, which was Adam Rishon, I think. Sefer Abohir says that the attribute of Chesed came to Hashem. Midas HaChesed came before Hashem and said, God, since you made Avraham Avinu on this world, I'm out of business. He does all the Chesed. He does everything. I'm out of a job. So then when Hashem saw that Avraham Avinu was upset that there were no guests, so then he was defeating the purpose of healing him, because if you're agitated, then you don't get healed. So as it says in the next pasuk, I'm not starting. Vayisa eina vayad. He picked up his eyes. Three men were standing on him, next to him. Olav literally means on him, but it means next to him. Yeah. So the commentators point out, it wasn't that he saw them from the distance. He's sitting in the door in the heat of the day looking for guests. All of a sudden, he picked up, it didn't drop down from a helicopter. Okay, all of a sudden he picked up his eyes, and there were 3 people standing there. Why doesn't, it implies that he didn't even see them coming. They didn't come. They just popped in. Because they were angels, huh?
Maybe the parsha is Vayeira, and again it uses the word this pasuk. So it's the Yisrael of Vayeira.
Vayar. No, that doesn't matter. Now, last time we mentioned, okay, that according to the Rambam and Meri Nevuchim, okay, the whole story didn't happen. The whole upcoming story didn't happen. The Rambam Meri Nevuchim learns the whole pasuk differently. He says, Vayeira elav Hashem, Hashem revealed to him in a vision, which was a dream, and this whole thing of seeing the angels and giving them food, and the whole thing was a vision. It never happened. It never happened. That's what the Rambam Meri Nevuchim writes. Okay, the Ramban emphatically challenges the Rambam, and he says, so why did he see? So that basically you're saying like this: sorry if that's the case, didn't really bake cakes, right? The angels didn't really eat. And they ask another question on the Rambam. From here we learn out, and we'll see more about that later, that Hachnasas Archim, treating guests, is greater than the Shechina, right? That's what the Gemara learns out from Avraham Avinu. Because he told God, hold on, let me go take care of the guests. He's talking to Hashem, so you see it's greater. But if the whole thing's a dream, then it never happened. So how can you learn out that Hachnasas Archim is greater than receiving the Shechina? Avraham Avinu didn't do Hachnasas Archim. And therefore the Ramban emphatically,
He did it on those three people, but usually he did Hachnasas Archim.
I understand, but over here we're learning it out. No, we're learning out that Hachnasas Archim is greater than talking to God, than the vision of Hashem. That only happened here. Okay, next interesting thing, the Medrash says, Vayeira elav Hashem. Hashem is Midas HaRachamim, the attribute of mercy, right? Normally it's Vayom Elikim. Yeah, over here it says Vayeira elav Hashem, because Hashem is appearing as the attribute of mercy, and therefore he cured him with the attribute of mercy. Another interesting thing the Mefarshim point out, why does it say Vayeira elav Hashem? To him. So the Medrash says that excludes all the other people that had the bris. That means Hashem only came to heal him. Elav means him, and not the other people in the house. So the Medrash says because Hashem only came to visit Avraham Avinu. Now, the Mefarshim also point out, what do you mean Hashem appeared to Avraham Avinu? Hashem's all over the place. What do you mean that you appeared to Avraham Avinu? The answer is, yeah, like we said, Hashem's all over the place, but in the places of the Beis HaMikdash, it's revealed, it's open, you can see it, there are miracles happening, and so on and so forth. Okay, next.
Thank you.
Okay. Like we say, it was published in the heat of the day. And we say, why does it say in Eleini Mamre? Rashi says an interesting expression. Why was he doing K'chay Mayim? He was looking, Rashi says, for Oiver V'Shov. If you look in the Rashi says, what was he doing K'chay Mayim? Lireis im yesh Oiver V'Shov v'yachnisim b'beisei. He was looking if there's simply means passerbyers, Oiver V'Shov, going and coming. So Mepharshim ask, it's an uncommon expression. Why doesn't it say he was looking for Orchim? Oiver V'Shov, Orchim, he was looking for guests. Why does he say he's looking for passerbyers? So they say an interesting thing. Avar means Vayeira, and Shav means to do tshuva. What was Avraham Avinu's goal with his open home? He brought people under the wings of the Shechina, right? He made him make a bracha, he talked to them about godliness. So it says, what was Avraham Avinu looking for? He wasn't only looking for guests. He was looking, Rashi says, Avar V'Shav, the people that did Averis, that they should do tshuva, V'Shav, that they should be able to do tshuva. And that's why Rashi uses the expression of Avar V'Shav rather than Orchim. Okay. Now, another interesting thing over here, it says, "V'hu yeshiv Pesach ha'oil." He was sitting. Now, what happened over here? Hashem came to visit him. Hashem comes to you, you sit? What do you mean, "V'hu yeshiv Pesach ha'oil"? In fact, if you look in the pasuk, yeshiv normally in Hebrew is with a vav. Yud, vav, shin, beis. Yeah? Here yeshiv is without a vav. Why? So the Medrash says, Hashem came to Avraham Avinu, Avraham stood up, but he just had a bris. So Hashem told him to sit. But it wasn't yeshiv, a full sitting, with the vav, meaning a full sitting, the proper sitting, because he wanted to stand. Hashem said, you sit. Because otherwise, if you think about it, Hashem is coming to you and you sit. I mean, if your holy Rebbe comes into a room, you stand up, but you don't sit. So why does it say? That's why it says also without the vav, because to tell us that he wanted actually to sit, to stand. Hashem told him to sit.
Well, it's kind of like with Yaakov Avinu when he slept on Har HaBayit.
Yep. Yes, true. Yes. Okay. Now another issue over here is like this. Fast forward. When the Malachim left Avram went to Lot, so what did Lot tell him? Come, I have room for you to sleep over. Why didn't Avram Avinu offer the Malachim here a place to sleep? So the answer is very simple. The Malachim came in the middle of the day. In the middle of the day, they don't need a place to sleep. They need a place to eat. The Malachim came ba'erev, it says. Later on in Vayeira, they came to Lot in the evening. You come in the evening, you offer a place to sleep. But that's practically, they say. By the Malachim, they came in the middle of the day. So what do they need a place for? To sleep. They just needed a place to eat.
No, that time, when they would eat the lunch, then they would take a nap.
That was in not Avram Avinu's time. Should I tell you a little secret? In Shulchan Aruch and in the Gemara it says you're not allowed to sleep during the day.
No?
No. Well, let's leave it at that. Now you'll have what to do tshuva on Yom Kippur. So you're not going to say Avram Avinu went to sleep during the day. He didn't. Avram Avinu learned Torah the whole day. What did he do? He didn't go to sleep at night. He slept. Okay. Now there's another interesting pasuk. Shemesh marpei biknafeha. The sun heals with its wings. So some Mefarshim say, they call the Medrash, an opinion in the Medrash that says Hashem took the sun out to make it very hot, actually to heal Avram. The sun has the pasuk Shemesh marpei, heals with its wings. So Hashem, the Medrash says, why did Hashem make it very hot? Not only you shouldn't have guests, but another reason you should become healed. Okay, and like we said, all of a sudden they were just standing there. Okay? Now, just taking the pasuk simply, yeah? Picture the scenario, what's going on. Okay, not like the Rambam, there was a dream, a vision. Avram Avinu is sitting right after his bris, third day. Hashem is coming to visit him, and he's looking all over the place for guests. It's a little bit chutzpahdik. It's like you ever talk to somebody they're not listening to, they're talking on their cell phone, they're not even listening to you. The kids talk to their parents, and parents say, yeah, they're not even bothering. It's a chutzpah, right? Or let's do it this way. Parents are talking to the kids, and the kids are going, yeah. Okay, it's chutzpah. What's going on over here? Avram Avinu, the whole time, he's sitting by the opening of the gate, of the tent. His bed wasn't by the opening of the tent. He was probably resting in bed. He had a bris, right? 99-year-old man having a bris. It's not 8-day-old. What's going on over here? Over there, he picks up his eyes, there's malachim. So again, from here we learn out, and we're going to learn more details about it. Let's keep this in mind, because we need to understand this later in the whole picture of the story. Behold, and the Baal HaTurim says, Vihine means like, behold, they were there. That means they didn't see him coming from the distance. They were just there. Shleisha Anashim. Now, really, they were angels. But they're called men because they got dressed as humans. Obviously, he came down in the garb of humans. Now, Hashem sent 3 malachim. So Rashi says, why did we need 3? So it says each one did a different job. One was to heal Avram, one was to tell Sarah she's going to have a baby, and one was to destroy Sodom. Okay. Therefore, only 2 malachim came to Sodom because the one that told Sarah she's going to have a baby finished his mission. That's why Hashem gave these 3 people. Okay. Now, Nitzavim Olav, and here's it. You know, when you take this something, we just learn it and we don't think. And when you think, it's a problem. Okay? What does the pasuk say here? He was sitting by the tent, he picked up his eyes, and 3 people were standing there. Yeah? What does it say right now? Vayar, he saw. Vayaretz l'krasim, he ran to meet them from his tent. Vayishtach, and he bowed to the ground. If they're standing there, what is he running to?
So he must have a lot of pain.
No, but they're there. They're standing next to the door, it says. Shleisha Navshim Nitzavim Olav.
They were leaving.
So it says, the Mepharshim explained, what happened over here was like this. And also, why does it say Vayar a second time? Okay? First time he saw that they were there. And Vayar, he understood that they didn't want to bother him. You know, the pasuk says twice. Vayar v'nei shleisha anashim. No, it said Vayiseina Vayar, right? And then again it said Vayar Vayoretz l'krasim. He saw. Okay, so the first time means he saw the people. He didn't know they were angels yet. He saw the people. Then Vayar, he understood. So what does it mean? The pasuk doesn't say it, but this is what the Mepharshim explain what happened over here. The guest didn't want to bother him. He was probably in pain or whatever. So they left. Vayar, he saw, meaning he understood. Why did they leave? Because they don't want to bother him. So then he chased them. Because they already left. What?
Why Hashem sent 3 angels together to Abraham? 2 of them didn't have any mission. Like, why Abraham
No, they did.
No, 2 of them they didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, but from there they went straight to them. You're right, this is a good question. Because L'cheret Avram was only 2 things. To heal Avram and tell me he's going to have a baby. But no, because they had to go straight from there to Zdaim. From there they had to go straight to Zdaim. Okay. By the way, the Mepharshim, the Gemara has to be the Gemara, but Metzi asked the question. Refoil, the 3 malachim were Gabriel, Refoil, and Michal. Yeah. So the Gemara says Refoil, healed Avram, and he saved Lot. So the Gemara says, a malach can't do 2 missions. He did 2 missions. He healed Avram and saved Lot. So the answer, because the second mission is really the same thing. Healing him is like saving him. It's the saving. Healing him is saving him. So he saved him. So he saved the Lot. Okay. Now, he bowed to them. Okay. First time he saw them. Then, even though they were standing right next to him, they left. So therefore, he ran after them. And the Mepharshim explain, again, he was sitting in God's presence. Why was he sitting? Because he was in a lot of pain. So Hashem told him to sit. All of a sudden, he saw the guests. He ran. Yeah? How can you run if you're in so much pain you can't even stand? That Hashem told him, you sit because you're too painful to stand. So how is he able to run? So Mepharshim explained, he was so into achnasas orchim, getting the guests, he forgot about his pain. That he was able to run. And he bowed to the ground. Why did he bow to the ground? Obviously, he didn't bow to them. It means greeting, salutation, hello. That's the way they used to greet each other. Yeah.
Was it unusual that he saw the guests guests at this time, or did they just visit a common?
He was so happy that he had guests, he couldn't care less why. Okay, so Vayomar, and he said, Pasigim. He said now, Adoshem, okay, Imna matzasi chen beinecha, if I find favor in your eyes, Al no saver me'alavdecha, do not pass from your servant. Now, who's this Adon, whatever, we'll say the word Hashem, okay? Who's he referring to? So Rashi brings out two interpretations. One is that he spoke, if there's three people, it should be Adoni. I mean, one it would be Adoni. So Adon, in this case, it would be Adonai, referring to the three masters, is plural. So then he spoke to them, or Rashi says he spoke to the oldest of them, the one that looked the oldest, whatever. Then he says, please don't leave me, stay here, But Rashi brings on a second interpretation is that he's talking to Hashem. Here, Adoshem means Hashem.
Please don't leave.
Don't leave. You came to visit me. I'm not a good guest. I'm not a good host because you came to visit me. I'm busy with everybody else. He says, do me a favor, Hashem, don't leave. Stick around. And by the way, when the whole story is over, that's when Hashem came to Avram and told him Sodom is being destroyed. That's the same time that this happened. Right? So this is, again, when you take the words and you really sit and think what the words mean, the Mefarshim open up our eyes, that this is a whole different story of what, you read about it in the movies or whatever. Now, where did Avram get the chutzpah to tell Hashem, wait, I have guests to take care of? So from this pasuk, the Gemara learns out, if they're not mistaken, Rashi should be saying it too. The Gadol Shebehem, and he called him master. Okay. Davar Acher, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, wait until I take care of the guest. Okay? And from here, the Gemara learns out, Rashi doesn't say this, but because it's not the pshat of the pasuk, but from here, the Gemara learns out that Gedei Lachnos Esorchim, that taking care of guests is greater than Kabbalah's Pnei HaShechina. It's greater than seeing God. What did Avraham Avinu tell? This is from the Gemara. The Gemara says this. Avraham Avinu said, God, hold on, please stay here for a while. And he went to take care of the guests. Now, if talking to Hashem is greater than guests, why is he going to the guests? Obviously, this is what we learn out from Avraham. So there's a very interesting question. There's a whole debate between great people, and one of them asked the question. He said, okay, we learn it out from Avraham Avinu that guests is greater than talking to Hashem, than Kabbalah's Pnei HaShechina, right? How did Avraham Avinu learn it out? How did he know it? We know it because that's what Avraham Avinu did. He told Hashem, wait, and he went to take care of the guests. How did Avraham Avinu, this is a question people always ask kids, because the answer is simple but brilliant. It's a very simple answer. Once you know the answer is simple, they call the other thing. So they asked the question, but how did Avraham Avinu know it?
What?
How did Avraham Avinu know to tell God to wait? How did he know guests are greater than Hashem? How did he know that? Because Avraham Avinu was a very smart man. He understood like this. If he saw Hashem made it very hot. Why did he make it very hot? Basically, Hashem changed nature. It wasn't supposed to be that hot. Right? Hashem changed nature that guests shouldn't come to bother Avraham Avinu. Yeah? Hashem could have done something much simpler. Hashem could appear to Avraham Avinu, and automatically he wouldn't be able to go to guests. And Avraham Avinu says the cheshbon like this: if Hashem doesn't want me to have guests, why did he make it very hot? That guests shouldn't come. He had a simpler option, alternative. Could reveal himself to Avraham Avinu, and then automatically, even if guests come, he couldn't take care of them, because the Shekhinah is greater than guests. The fact that Hashem made the sun come out in order that guests shouldn't come, so Avraham Avinu understood that means if guests would come, I would have to take care of the guests instead of talking to Hashem. That's what Avraham Avinu figured out from Hashem's actions of making it hot. There should be no guests. Instead, Hashem could have just appeared to Avraham Avinu and he wouldn't be able to go do the guests. The answer is Avraham Avinu understood. Why did Hashem make it hot? Because if guests would have come, and even if I would be speaking to Hashem, I would have to leave Hashem and go to the guests. It's very simple, but a very brilliant way.
But you don't think so Hashem wanted that to make sure that people knows that taking care of the guest is very, very important?
I understand. We learn it from Avraham Avinu, right? That's what Avraham Avinu did. The question is, though, how did Avraham Avinu know it? And the answer is he figured it out from Hashem's actions of making it very hot. Okay, Anos Savar Me'al Avdecha. Okay? Please don't leave me. And the quote from the Gemara on Shabbos, Rabbi Elazar says, look how Hashem is so different than human kings. In a human king, in our world, can you imagine a servant telling the king, hold on for a minute, I have things to do, or just hold on, I'll come back soon. He'd kill him. Yet Avraham Avinu said it to Hashem, the servant said to the master Hashem, he said, hold on, Hashem said, no problem. Hashem didn't even say, another interesting thing just entered my mind. He could have said to Hashem, do me a favor, come back later. I'm busy now, go home and come back later. He didn't tell Hashem, come back later. He said, stick around until I'm done. Which l'chayre is more chutzpah than saying, you know, I'm sorry, I'm very busy now. Come back in an hour or two, whatever, right? But nevertheless, shows the greatness of Hashem's humility, so to speak, and the greatness of Achnasas Orchim. By the way, according to Halacha, the concept of Achnasas Orchim in reality is only out-of-town guests. That says in Shulchan Aruch, it's a big Shulchan Aruch, the Alter Rebbe brings it down in Shulchan Aruch, Hilchos Yom Tov, that real Achnasas Orchim, the real is only out-of-town guests. You have somebody over for a lunch Shabbos afternoon is not real Achnasas Orchim. Achnasas Orchim, people that come out of town, they don't have a place to stay or a place to eat, and you feed them and give them a place to sleep. That's the real definition in Halacha of Achnasas Orchim. What?
How far is out of town? Like the valley to the city? Would that?
There's a lot of halachas. What is considered out of town, in town? You have dinim of yichud. If a husband's wife is in town or the husband is in town, you know, what's the definition of in town? If a guy works in Long Beach every day, is that called in town or out of town? If a guy works in the valley compared to the city, is that called in town or out of town? The whole discussion. It's not so simple, by the way. In halacha, but you find in many dinim, there's a din if Baila Be'ir, if the husband's home and not home, what the definition of in the city is.
Those lectures that you're giving between Nepal married or whatever, I think you should make this.
We should talk about it. Thanks for the
Very
idea.
important,
Thanks for the
no?
idea. Thanks for the idea. In fact, he brings down an interesting story. There's Reb Leib Chasman, was once Shabbos kept by the Chafetz Chaim. Mishnah Berurah, right? He was once a guest by the Chafetz Chaim. Chafetz Chaim comes home from shul. He right away makes kiddush, and he serves the meal. In the middle of the meal, he starts singing Shalom Aleichem and Eishes Chayil. Middle of the meal. So he says to him, why did you change the order? He said, listen, I knew you were hungry. The malachim can wait a little while. They're not in any particular rush. You know, they could wait a while. You're hungry, you can't wait. They can wait. He said, I switched the order around to do, even though, it's according to other Mefarshim, that wouldn't work because it says, you say Shalom Aleichem, and right away Tzeichem Shalom. At the end of the meal, you should say Tzeichem Shalom. You say, hello, goodbye. It's like somebody comes to town, you know the first question you ask them, when are you leaving? How long are you in town for? You ever know the first question, how long are you in town for? The guy just came, let him stay. What are you throwing him out? But that's the way it is. So Mefarsh, it says, why do you say Tzeichem Shalom right away? I mean, later. I mean, hello, you didn't even make Kiddush. Hello, goodbye, and goodbye. So it says, it teaches us that by angels, time is so precious, they can't wait doing nothing. They come, they do their mission, give a bracha to the house or whatever, and then they go. But when it comes to a Jew being hungry, Malachim, the Jew who's hungry comes first. That's what the Chafetz Chaim told him. A Jew who's hungry comes before the Malachim. They can wait. Yes.
When the Malachim come for Shabbos, is it the same Malachim come to everybody's house? And do the same Malachim come every week to the person?
Want to know their names also?
Sure.
Their ages.
The ages,
Are they married?
social security number.
I like to know who's in my house.
It says two Malachim. Malachim in existence are coming and going. Malachim here, mission, leave. They're non-existent. Malachim are there to do. Let's take the Malachim. Okay, the top three that came to Avraham Avinu, Michal, Gabriel, and Raphael, they're permanent angels. But most angels come and go. How many angels are there? How many angels are there? I don't mean the LA angels. I mean the Anaheim angels. How many angels are there? How many Malachim are there? Huh? How many? Okay. So the Gemara asks a contradiction. The Gemara Chagiga asks a contradiction between two psukim. One pasuk says, "Elef alafim v'ribi revavis yisham shemuni." Meaning, the simple meaning of the pasuk: 1,000, 10,000 times 10,000 angels serve me. Mishamish, serve Hashem. So the Gemara says, another pasuk says, or the gedud of a mispot. The gedud is the legion of soldiers of angels. There is no end. So the Gemara says, 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000. 10,000 times 10,000, whatever it is limited. And then another pasuk says, ein mispot. There is no number. So the Gemara Chagiga answers very simple and interesting. When it says 10,000, 1,000, 10,000, 10,000, that's the amount of one group of angels. How many groups are there? The Gemara says, ein mispot. That's infinite. So you want to know how many angels? Infinite. Now, while we're off topic, how many neshamas are there? There's more than 600,000 Jews today. So in Tanya, the Alter Rebbe quotes what it says in Kabbalah, that there's 600,000 neshamas left each. They're the general neshamas. Each one of those is composed of 600,000. And each one of those 600,000 times 600,000 is a neshama prati. That means it's 360 billion neshamas.
Jewish.
I'm talking about neshama, nefesh olikis, the neshama of a yid. It's a lot of neshamas.
Are they? Because they're not on earth living.
No. So, but that's it. Anyway, to answer your question, it doesn't necessarily, probably not the same angels every week, and not the same angels to every house. And again, the Medrash also says, angels come, they do a mission, they sing praise to Hashem once, and that's it, they're done. They're not gone, they went to a different house. That's it, they're finished.
Why do you need the angels to come on Shabbos?
What do you want, Hashem himself should come?
But it's just, are there other times when angels come to us?
By a bris? Yom Malach HaBris.
So I just going to do the same thing. Is there difference between Eliyahu Navi and the angels? I mean, the
Eliyahu Navi is not an angel. Eliyahu Navi is an neshama. It became a malach, but he became. Now we're going way off. Anyway, one place it says, okay, what's the expression in Chazal? Eliyahu ze Pinchas. Yeah? No, I'm sorry. Pinchas Eliyahu. The expression in Chazal, Pinchas Eliyahu. Yeah? No. Who was first? Pinchas. Right? So don't you think it should say Eliyahu ze Pinchas? Pinchas is Pinchas. Later on there's a guy, Eliyahu Navi, so he say this Eliyahu Navi is Pinchas. You don't think Pinchas is Eliyahu Navi? Why does the Chazal say Pinchas Eliyahu? Yeah? So the Rebbe has a whole thing on it. He brings some from sources in Kabbalah and Midrashim. It's a lot. It's like a few paragraphs. It's very simple. It's interesting. According to many opinions in Kabbalah, especially in Kabbalah, they deal with the Neshamas, Gilgul, and all that. According to many opinions in Kabbalah, based on the Medrash, by the way, and the Rebbe said sometimes you can find Pinchas Eliyahu, and the Rebbe quotes many Midrashim where it says Eliyahu is a Pinchas. You find both things. The Rebbe proves in Midrashim. Just open Midrashim, you see it. So he says, it simply is, when you're talking about Pinchas, you say Pinchas Eliyahu. When you're talking about Eliyahu, you say Eliyahu is a Pinchas. So it's not a kin. But then the Rebbe brings down, according to Kabbalah, it says that before Eliyahu Navi was born, he was Taka Malach. Before Eliyahu Navi was born, he was a Malach. And then he came into a human of Pinchas. So now you say Pinchas Eliyahu, Pinchas is the Eliyahu of the Malach that was before Pinchas. Then when he died, he didn't die, he went alive to Gan Eden, right? He went up to heaven, so then he became a Malach again. He's a unique type of a Malach, it's not a regular run-of-the-mill angel. Which explains, by the way, while we're on this bris story, post-bris story, there's a story in the Zohar tells a story. The Rashbi, he had a idra, a yeshiva in the mountains of Tzvas. You know, for the people that studied the Zohar and the secrets of Torah. So Eliyahu Navi used to come every day to the yeshiva. Don't ask me what it means. Eliyahu Navi used to come every day to yeshiva. One day Eliyahu Navi didn't show up. He didn't come. So the next time he came, the Rashbi and the people asked him, Ayako, where were you? You know, your attendance, you weren't marked absent. So he said, Rav Amnuna Sava was a very great tzaddik in time of Rashbi, called Rav Amnuna Sava, the old Rav Amnuna, a very, very holy man, like Rashbi, you know, like that type of. And he needed help. He was in a dangerous situation. And I had to come down into the world to help him, and therefore I couldn't be in the yeshiva at the same time. That's what the Zohar says. Eliyahu Navi answered the yeshiva. So in the Mefarshim of Zohar, and a lot of people ask the question, Eliyahu Navi comes to every Seder, Eliyahu Navi comes to every bris. Yet there's 1,000 bris around the world at the same time. Yet he's at every bris, right? How many Jews celebrate a Pesach Seder? Eliyahu Navi is at every Seder. Yeah, so, like, how does he get there? So the Chassidus explains, the answer is like this. Eliyahu Navi as a Malach is not limited by a body. He could be everywhere. He could be a million bris and a million Sidorim, it doesn't matter. To save Rav Amnuna Sava, he had to come into a body to save him. Whatever, he had to, like the Malachim here came into a physical body. So because Rav Amnuna Sava had to come into Eliyahu Navi had to come into physical body to save Rav Amnuna Sava, then he becomes limited in the body he's in and he can't be anywhere else. The reason why a Malach can be all over the place is because it's not limited in the body. That's why the Alter Rebbe in Tanya quotes from the Zohar, that Tzaddik, ishtakach b'chul almin yatir b'chayayo. The Zohar says a tzaddik who passes away is more found in the world than he was before he passed away. The Zohar says that. Tzaddik this Dalek is takach bekula almin yater mi bechayei. He's more in the world than he is when it's a question, how could that be? So it's very simple. A tzaddik, the neshama of the tzaddik is alive, he's in a body. The body limits him. It passes away. The neshama of the tzaddik doesn't die, right? It's all over the place. So it's much greater than he was before. He doesn't have to eat anymore, he doesn't have to sleep anymore, he's not confined. And that's it, he could be all over the place. Okay, then let's get back to these angels. So he says like this. Yukach no ma'at mayim. So now he says like this. Let some water be brought. It doesn't say he went to do it himself. He said, let some water be brought. And you should wash your feet. We'll explain why in a second. And you should be rest under the tree. It was hot. Okay. And he was going to give him lunch, whatever, yeah? It takes time to we'll soon see what Avraham Avinu was getting ready for them. It takes time, yeah? So he told him, you know what? Have water brought, okay? Okay, this is now, so in other words like this. The pasuk before, according to what we said, he's speaking to God, don't leave me. Finished. Now he continues talking to the angels. If you learn like that, right? He's not telling God take a little water. Take a little bit of water. Okay? Now, he didn't show him the place to sleep like Light did because it was in the day. Okay. Now, therefore, like this. The Mefarshim explained on Avraham Avinu's level, he did something wrong over here. He said, let somebody else, Rashi says also, Yukach na, Rashi says, Ayidei shliach. He says, let water be brought to you, means through a shliach. He wasn't going to do it himself. So therefore Hashem punished Avraham Avinu, and for us that's no problem at all. On Avraham Avinu's level, Hashem said, why are you having somebody else do it? Therefore, when the Jews needed water in the desert, Hashem didn't give the water himself. He told Moshe Rabbeinu hit the rock. Or talk, and then hit, and then second time was talking. So the Jews, Avraham Avinu was punished actually. The Mefarshim, the Gemara says, because the Medrash says, because he didn't do it himself. So therefore, later on, Rashi quotes the Medrash that later on, when the Jews needed water, Hashem didn't do it directly himself; he did it through a shliach of Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, now, but he didn't tell them about food. He didn't say let food be brought. The food he did himself. Okay, therefore, when Hashem gave the man fell itself from heaven, not through a shliach. It fell directly. Because when Avraham Avinu was dealing with food with the malachim, he did it himself. When he was talking about water, he did it through a shliach. So water, Hashem also did through a shliach. Okay? And that's what the Gemara says in Bab Metzia, that Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav, whatever Avraham Avinu did personally for the angels, Hashem did personally for the Jews. What he did through a shliach, he did that. Okay. Now, why did he tell him to wash the feet? So it says, the Mefarshim say like this, very simple. Avraham Avinu didn't know yet they're angels. So all the people in that time were idol worshippers who bowed they used to bow to the dust of their feet. Avraham Avinu didn't want to have any idol worshipping in his house, and therefore he told him to wash their feet. Light, on the other hand, and there's other reasons why Light did it, but Light told him, come into the house and then go wash your feet. Because Light didn't care about idol worshipping. Avraham Avinu didn't want, okay, now. So number one, the Mefarshim say here that we don't find they actually washed their feet. By the food, he brought them the food and says they ate. It doesn't say over here that they did it.
So bring water up.
So Mepharshim explained the Taka didn't do it.
They didn't?
No.
What was the point of having it done?
Huh?
What was the point of having it done?
Because the angel said to Avram Avinu, what are you, Chayshid, where you suspect us of worshipping God? We don't do it. So therefore they didn't, Avram Avinu gave him water that they should wash the idols off their feet, so to speak. And they said we don't need to because we're not idol worshippers. But the Klayaka asks another interesting question. There's a famous question that Apikoros asked Ram Gamliel. He said, if your God doesn't like idols, Gemara says in Sanhedrin, I think it was Ram Gamliel. Apikoros asked Ram Gamliel, if your God doesn't like idols, he doesn't like idol worshipping, why doesn't he just destroy the idols? Let him just get rid of the idols. It's finished. You know, if he doesn't like it, let him get rid of the idols. So Gamliel said to him, listen, you fool. There are people that worship the sun. There are people that worship the moon. There are people that worship the stars. There are people that worship the ground. Some people worship mountains. So he said God should destroy the world because of the fools who worship everything else under the sun. I'm not going to destroy the world because of the fools. So similarly, the Klayaka asked the question, maybe Avram Avinu shouldn't allow sunlight into his house because people worship the sun. What does Rashi say? Because he thought they're idol worshippers who bowed to the dirt of the feet, so therefore he didn't want the dirt in the house. Yeah? So why did he allow sunlight in the house? People worship the sun too. So the Klayaka learns it a little bit deeper. He says, it's not that Avram Avinu didn't want idols in the house. He said, Mayim represents purity. He said, let me give you a little bit of purity to wash yourself off, not because he didn't want dirt in the house, because then he shouldn't let sunlight in the house either. What did Avraham Avinu say? I'll give you a little bit of water to purify, water is purity, yeah? A mikveh, to purify your feet, that you shouldn't be worshiping idols. But not because he didn't want dirt in the house.
Maybe he was trying to bring them from...
That's what he was doing.
Bring them back, sure.
Right. Okay, now, the Mefarshim ask, how do you say tree in Hebrew? No. Elon. Elon is a tree. Eitz is wood. No? The Mefarshim, why doesn't it say, Shbitachas Elon, rest under the tree? So then what is Avraham Avinu's goal over here? To make them flum. Eitz refers to Torah. Eitz chayim hila machzikim ba. Avraham Avinu said to them, here's water to purify yourself, and rest under the tree of Torah to become influenced by God. And therefore he uses the word eitz, because it refers to Eitz chayim hila machzikim ba, which is Torah. Eitz chayim. So that's why he did it. Correct. After all these things, then you call Eitz a tree. But there's a famous Gemara that became a song, Elon, Elon, B'ma'avar Chayil, Elon, Elon, right? So over there, the Gemara uses the word Elon.
Tree of life.
There are places in Chumash where it says the word Elon. Most of the time, you're right, it does say Eitz. Okay, anyway, so then he says like this, I will take a little bit of bread. I'll take bread. V'sadu libchem, and you should sustain your heart. V'achat Vayeira, then you can go on. Ki al kein avartem al avdechem. That's the reason the divine providence made you come here. Why did you come here? That you should get hospitality of food. Vayeira, they said, kein tasek asher dibartu. We're going to do as you asked. Now, if you look later on, by light, first they refused. And light forced them to stay. But really, on their own, they refused. Here the Gemara learns out a halacha from here. Mikan, she'ein mesarvin legodol. You can't refuse a great man. If a great man asks you to do something, you're not allowed to refuse him. Where do we learn it out from? The Malachim didn't refuse Avram, but they refused light. Why did they refuse light and not Avram? They should have also said no, and then he would have pressed them and they would have done it. Why did by Avram Avinu they agreed right away, and by light they didn't agree right away? So Gemara said from here learn out it then that aim is having the God. When a gadol, a great person, asks you to do something, you need to do it right away. Now also, normally in Chumash, the word lipchem is not used. It's usually levavchem. All over Shema, b'chol levavchem, b'chol levavchem, b'chol nafshchem, right? Levavchem. Why over here does it say v'sadu lipchem? Okay. Okay, so it says like this. Rashi says because they don't have a Yetzer Hara. What do we say? B'chol levavcha. Hebrew really should be b'chol lipcha. Why is it levavcha? Because the Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara. But over here, Avraham Avinu was figuring out their angels already. He said you don't have lipchem, levavchem. You don't have Yetzer Hara. So he says sadu lipchem. Even though it could be, partially he still didn't know. He still didn't know that they were angels because he wouldn't offer them food if they even knew they were angels. Okay. Okay. Achar taveh, then you can go. You can continue on your way. But first, because this is the reason you passed. In other words, it's not befitting that you should not partake of my hospitality. This is the reason why Hashem caused you to come to me. And they said, Kein taseh kasher dibarta. What did they answer basically? Okay, we will do, what did they say? Kein taseh kasher dibarta. We will do as you said. Meaning, you offered us right now, from the next psukim, okay, we're going to learn out, and whatever we get to today, I don't know, but most people talk a lot and do a little. Avraham Avinu talked little and did a lot. What did he tell the malachim? Ve'ercha pas lechem, I'll give bread. Not a big deal. The bread's probably ready already, or whatever. Bake it, no big deal. Someone's going to cook it and bake it anyway. So I'll give you a little bit of bread. So they say, Kein taseh kasher dibarta. Listen to us. We're going to do as you said. We're not taking more than bread. Because they didn't want to bother him. Like you said, the malachim left because they saw that he wasn't paid. What did Avram do? He went to the tent and he said, get 3 sim. And he ran to the cattle and he shechted three behemoths would have 3 tongues to give the malachim. I mean, so what did Avram Avinu do? He said little, and he did a lot. He made him bread, this, and shechted meat, and he gave him mustard, and all the things that in the Gemara learns. You're supposed to learn from Avram Avinu to say little and do a lot, rather than talk a lot and do little. Okay, what did he say to her? Ma'adi, hurry up. Okay? Meaning, as Mepharshim is saying, he fired it up with the same enthusiasm. Okay? Meaning, once you do a mitzvah, you have to zrizim. You have to have zrizus. Yeah? Like we find later on in Vayeira, Avram Avinu passed the test of the Akedah. Why did so the Mepharshim all asked a question, and we said, what was so great about Avram Avinu's Akedah? It's Yitzchak was going to get killed. He was 37 years old. Yeah? So whose test is it? Avram or Yitzchak's? Obviously, it's much more Yitzchak's test than Avram's test. He's getting killed, not Avram. There's a lot of answers to the question, right? No, the Mepharshim asked, why is it Avram Avinu's test? It should be Yitzchak's test. So if you watch the movie as a little boy, didn't know it was coming off, it's okay, so it's Avram's test. But Yitzchak's 37 years old. Yitzchak's 37, not our 37. Yitzchak's 37. You can imagine how great he was, yeah? So it's his test, not Avram. So one answer is why it's called Avram Avinu's test, because Vayashkem Avram Baboker. Zerusa da Avraham, the haste of Avram to do it, the Chazal tell, that's what stood up for us for all generations. It wasn't Stam Avram Avinu did it. He ran to do it. Vayashkem Avram Baboker. He got up as soon as daybreak happened. He saddled his own donkey. That's the concept of Zerizos. So therefore, Avram Avinu, during the mitzvah, they accepted the offer to give him hospitality. He ran to the tent. He ran, and he said to son, Vayeira, he said, Mahari, hurry up also, get excited about this. Okay? Lushi vasi uges. He said, Selis is fine flour. Kemach is inferior mill. Okay? So that's why it says, Si'im kemach selis, it means flour of fine flour. Okay, the fact that it's a kemach selis, the Mepharshim say, it means it goes together. Now, okay, here the Ramban notes 3 saw of kemach selis is a lot of bread. More than 3 people could eat. Why is he? Okay, maybe the 3 animals, he wanted to have 3 tongues. Okay, so that I understand. Why in the world did he make this so much? So it says either he wanted as a partial korban to Hashem to burn it, a korban mincha, and then the leftover he'll give the angels, or Avram Avinu wanted his whole household to eat together with the angels. It's another sign of respect and honor that everybody's eating with these new guests. Yeah? So therefore Avram Avinu did it. He offered a lot even though they didn't need so much, because he wanted that they should have a lot of food. But here's another interesting thing. Why do you say Lushi Vasi Ugais? Knead it, K-N-E-A-D, and make Ugais. When the Malachim came to light, what day was it? Pesach. Because it said Matzah off of Vayechel, late Beit Matzah. Rashi said Pesach. So they came to Avram Avinu the same day. They came to Avram Avinu midday, and they got to light that night. So it's still Pesach. So what did Avram tell Sarah, basically? They couldn't bake chametz. Avram kept Torah. So what did he tell her to do? Bake matzah. How is matzah? Ugais, round matzahs. And therefore he told her Lushi Vasi Ugais, to make round matzahs, one of the, besides Kabbalistically why you have round matzahs. But we learn out from Avram Avinu that what did he tell Sarah to make? Ugais means, besides cakes, it means round. So that's what he told her to do.